Hi, I'm Dr. Aimee Russo-Mounger. Welcome back to the Smile Spa podcast, Smile Spa Wellness, Smile Spa Dental. I'm excited today. We have such an amazing guest. She is a rock star in all rights, always. So y'all are going to be so blessed to hear what she has to say. I had the pleasure of meeting her in this new partnership that I'm doing with the Make Wellness Company. And we were in Cancun together, and I got to have breakfast along with a few other people, but her and her husband, and I was picking her brain and trying to get all the stuff. She's just a wealth of knowledge and a beautiful person, and I'm so excited. So welcome, Jenn DeTracy. We did see your husband. So you're welcome. We got your husband on here too, so we've got both the DeTracys, like double DeTracy. Fun stuff. So tell us, I want everybody to kind of know your story, where you came from, how all these things. I love the fact that you ride horses, you're a personal trainer. You're like well-rounded, all the things. So give us a little background. As long as you want to talk, you keep talking.
All right. Well, I always like to start with I do things in twos. So I have two grown children, 22 and 25, and two dogs and two horses, but I only have one husband. So I always like to start out that way. I'm like, yeah, but just one husband. And then we ended up getting three more horses here the last couple of months. So now my two story doesn't work as well. But I'm 49 years old. I've been in the health and wellness and network marketing space for almost 30 years, and turning 50 here in just a couple of months.
You don't look a day over 30.
Well, thank you.
So tell me about the health and wellness space that you've been in for a long time. It's evolved. So I've learned this last few, months that I've been in here, how these companies come and go sometimes. And, there's a lot that's out there. A lot of people, if you're not in these spaces where it's like affiliate sales, I've seen when I did the certifications for Peptides. At the time, I did not even know about this company. I was just doing certifications and learning about the synthetic peptides. And there's a lot of availability in synthetic peptides with a lot of companies to be what they're calling an affiliate. So I was kind of like, what is this affiliate thing? But it ends up pretty much being for the layperson, kind of a salesperson. You learn about something, or the product, you take the product, you love the product. And then it's just a way for the company to get it out instead of having like a brick and mortar like we're used to. So I feel like this is kind of a new thing, and it could be that it's not, but in my world, it's kind of a new thing because as a dentist, you have to have a brick and mortar. You have to have people come to you, you're not really selling anything. You're just helping people get healthy. And that's why I kind of went in the Smile Spa Wellness direction, was because it's still the same thing. You're still trying to get people healthy, and everything goes through the mouth, that goes to the gut, that goes to, to make your whole body function and work correctly, starts in the mouth. So it's kind of like where I started my journey 30 years ago, and still doing it. But it's all evolved. And some of it, I feel like maybe COVID taught us that you could do more things virtually. And so people are okay with doing things virtually, where before we didn't even know that was an option. Although you were in the space before it was cool. You were an affiliate before it was cool, right?
Well, I wouldn't even call it an affiliate. I have always had a passion for helping people look and feel better than they can do themselves. And, that's also the definition of leadership, helping someone get somewhere in their life that they couldn't get without you stepping in and interrupting their life in a good way.
It's so good. That's a great way to put it.
There's bad peer pressure where we step into a space where we move in the wrong direction. And then there's good pressure from people in your life that can step in and that can help you become healthier. And whether it's from a dentist or whether it's from a personal trainer or whether it's anywhere else, from very young in my life, I knew that I wanted to help people look and feel better. And we can be here on this earth and not feel alive. And that piece of the puzzle that everybody's looking for to feel their best, I like to teach the whole puzzle. There's not just buy one thing and you're going to feel better. There's not just step in the gym one day and you're going to feel better. It's not, if you eat garlic or if you eat just fruits and vegetables, or maybe I'll do carnivore, or maybe I'll do intermittent fasting. There's no
one way.
Perfect, magical one way. It's a puzzle of different things. And so moving into network marketing was to allow me to utilize the whole puzzle of health and wellness, but to have something where I could also forward, as a young mom, I was a single mom at the time, to be able to earn an income, a significant income that I could take care of my family, and to also be able to pour into everyone as a nutrition coach, as a personal trainer, and go beyond the, personal trainer, $30 an hour. I wanted to make a massive impact. And so that's why this space was attractive to me, is because I wanted to utilize the whole puzzle and I wanted to make a massive impact.
You definitely make a massive impact. I can say, and I haven't even known you very long, and I feel like you have made a massive impact on my life. I mean, I was so excited when y'all said yes to come on the podcast. I was like, oh my gosh, I could like have the DeTracy's on. I mean, you could tell it just you exude excitement for what you're talking about in all things, and you lead with love, and it's just such a blessing to have like met you and now have you on here to share you with everybody else. I like to just like say sometimes I want to just pick your brain. But I feel like you have so much to give and such a wealth of knowledge in all areas. So we'll cover some of it today. I know I would love to have you back on because there's so much more in there that we could probably pick through. But I do want to talk about like how, and you kind of touched on that, like how things you want to change people's lives, you want to, help them become the best that they can be. And so there's ways I think you've said you probably have some testimonies of some people where they've seen a huge change. Um, from your perspective, how has this business really like blessed people? Either generically, like the business as in a whole, or specifically make business. I mean, either one. It's just so different from what I am used to, and a lot of people are used to. So it's the same thing about educating with peptides. It's educating with business too. Like how does this work? Instead of people being skeptical, they just need to open their ears and have some discernment and listen, but then and, it's not for everybody, and that's fine. It's not a big deal. I just feel like the more we can educate people on all levels, the better we all are, as just as a society and whole. So, um, if you have some testimonies you could tell us, it'd be great. And then I'll
Well,
just let you
well, you,
chat.
you kind of hit on education and options, right? You hit, and do you want some testimonials right now
What?
of physical health testimonials? Is that what you're looking for?
We
Or
could.
are you looking for more people that have transformed their whole life with their health, their wellness, their finances, everything?
Oh gosh, that's both things. I don't know. I mean, I want
I
both
know
of
that.
them.
Well,
I
that's
want
why
both of them. I want all of it.
I've been doing this for so long.
I
I'm like,
know.
what kind of testimonials do you want
You're
here?
like, yeah,
And,
this is
and
so much.
do you mind if we touch on first? Because you had asked me, one of the things that you had prepped me for is some misconceptions or some things that, I grew up here, and I
Mm,
believe that belief is the beginning of everything that we become. Belief is this little seed, and either we throw it in a drawer and it does nothing, or we throw it on top of the soil and that does nothing either. But when you can actually take a seed of belief and you can plant it and you can nourish it, then the people that believe in what they're doing, no matter what it is in life, whether it's nutrition, whether it's business, when you believe in something
mm,
and you actually conceive it in your mind that it's possible, you will start to move forward towards it.
okay.
We move in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. I have thoughts every day about doubts and fears and things that maybe somebody has said to me over here or said to me over there.
Mhm.
And of course, we all kind of let that filter through. We do. We're human, and we let those things filter through. And our experiences, we know what we know. I don't know what I haven't experienced,
True.
right? Yeah. And so what I've experienced in this industry, some people call it network marketing, some people call it direct sales, some people call it multi-level. There's all these different names, affiliate marketing, social marketing. I mean, you could throw out whatever name you want, but bottom line is, instead of putting a product on a shelf and letting it sell, we have a voice behind it.
That's
And
great.
we're able to ask people, what do you need? What is your goal?
Mm,
How can I help you? A shelf doesn't do that.
so true.
And so whether somebody is negative about it or not, I love to be the voice to help people. Putting a product on the shelf has no voice.
True.
And so, whether whatever type of health professional is listening or whatever type of person is listening, when someone actually asks you questions and cares, we hear from doctors all the time, you have to diagnose before you prescribe. How many people just get excited? Oh, I'm so excited. And they're like, and they don't ask any questions. Or I see someone on the internet that just says, oh, well, I want to lose weight. Okay. And they're like, oh, you should do this. Well, I'm going to come back. I would never say, oh, you got to do my thing. You have to do this. I would come back and I would say, you know what? Tell me more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me more about what you've done in the past to lose weight. Where does your weakness in your health and nutrition lie? Where are your strengths? What are you good at? I had a girl come to me this morning that said that she saw a post my husband did on social media and he was talking about me. And she asked me if I did one-on-one coaching. I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore because but I said to her, because she said she's struggling with her nutrition. She's struggling. Now she's taking our peptides. Here's the thing. Our peptides are unbelievable. And we can get into that. We can get into the benefits and why they're so important as part of that puzzle. But she struggles with consistency. She struggles with consistency in her diet. She struggles with consistency in her life in all areas. And I said, let me ask you a question. Are you an all or nothing person? I could tell just by talking to her for a minute. I said, are you an all or nothing person? I said, because here's what I see. I see that the slight edge in the right direction in your life, day after day is going to move you to where you want to go. But you're not giving yourself the slight edge. You're jumping all in or jumping all out. And then I see that the slight edge in the wrong direction every day for you is going to move you in the wrong direction where you don't want to go. Look at people with diabetes or heart disease or gum disease or what all these things, they don't just creep up overnight. Right. And so what we have, and I know you asked me for business testimonials, but
Go.
you have to have something that people need and people want. Right. And people need better health and people want better health. Yeah. And when we go to the doctors are there for a very important specific reason, but they're there to fix. Right?
Yep.
People come to you for preventative dental care, but they also come to you okay, something's wrong. I need to be fixed.
Right.
So when you look at peptides and you look at natural peptides specifically, bioactive natural peptides, which is what we have at Make Wellness, they're not there to fix you. They're there to optimize someone's health and wellness so that their body over time can fix it. That your body wants to fix itself. Your body wants to optimize, but a lot of times we don't let it because we don't give it long enough. We go to the gym 2 times in January or 3 times or for a month and be like,
right.
I'm not in perfect shape. Why am I not in perfect shape? Or we take our, a peptide is not a multivitamin. Yeah. Also, people do not compare a bioactive peptide to a multivitamin is filling in nutritional gaps, right? A bioactive peptide is changing how your cells regenerate and how they talk to each other. That's changing every system, every organ in your body to work more efficiently for you. I will take these till the day I die, but I wouldn't take synthetic peptides or therapeutic ones till the day I die. I would take them if I had a specific acute reason or, that I needed them.
Yeah.
So there's a collision of when you're looking at this, you asked me like, is this a viable business model for people? Absolutely. Because we have a voice behind a product that makes a massive difference in people's lives.
Yeah.
And do you see where, like, to me, when someone has skepticism, it's really just a misunderstanding.
Absolutely.
Or a misperspective, like a perspective shift that someone needs. And it's really based on an experience probably that they had.
Yeah. That's so good. It's so good because we talked about I had a trainer actually on here, and he's kind of doing the same thing you do, and it kind of reminds me but you do it on like the more mental, emotional level where he can like y'all both have this great blessing. It sounds like this gift from God where he can look at somebody and say, "You ate a pea and this was wrong," and whatever, like, training-wise, and then you sound like mentally, you could say, "Well, what kind of person are you? How is this working?" And then those 2 things are both rare because people usually don't do that for other people. Like, they don't dig enough and ask enough questions to find out really. And, in the medical field and the training field, sometimes it's like, here's your training plan, here's your food, here's your plan. And we're always wanting like instant gratification. So people are just kind of, and hungry. So you kind of just pulling at strings for different things. But it's when you get somebody like you, somebody like Ken, like Nate, and it's like somebody who just genuinely wants to know the person and help them, then you really get you go down to the basics. Okay, how do you sleep? How do you eat? What are you doing? How do you feel? What is your personality? Like you said, like, are you are you disciplined? Are you not disciplined? And that's things I ask in dentistry, which is so funny because they'll come to me for they want to have braces, and there's two different kind of braces. There's some that come on and off, and there's some that I can cement to your teeth. What kind of person are you? Are you the person that's going to take them off and never put them back on? And thankfully, people will be honest, because sometimes it's like you got to be honest with me. Because if you're going to say, "Oh, I'm going to do it," and then they don't, then you just
Mhm.
paid me money to do this for you, and it's not gonna work. It's the same thing with health, like going to the gym. You can go to the gym, you can lead a horse to water, you would know, but you can't make them drink. And it's the same thing. So I just find it so interesting how mentally you kind of went in the same direction as the trainer that I had on here went in, but just one from here up and then one all the way down. So it's true. You just can't. It's not a one person thing, just like the job is not a one person thing. We're all so different. God made us so different, but he made our bodies to pretty much heal and work correctly. We've just over the years, the decades, things have gotten broken, and it's just ways to find things to fix what's broken. The best way to find the things that are fixed what's
Mhm.
broken, if it's mentally or if it's physically, we just have to help people find that way. People have to be open
Yeah.
to it,
Yeah. Well, there's a saying most people, there's 1,000 people hacking at the branches of a tree and one person digging at the root. And anything in life that you do
That's
that is going to be challenging, right? Any change, any change in our life is going to be challenging in whatever area.
mhm.
But we have to learn to not hack at those branches because that's that immediate gratification that you're looking for, and get down to the root of why do you need what you think you need, and what is that going to take, right? And that could stem from anything. It could stem from nutrition, it could stem from a career and income, it could stem from anything.
Yes. So you stepped away pretty much from doing personal training because you do a lot of motivational speaking and try to help people in this way in like a bigger realm, right? So if somebody
Well,
tell me about that.
yes, yes. I think that there are different pillars of health, and I talked about a big puzzle, but everything really falls into four pillars in my mind, and those pillars are mindset is a pillar. I can give you the perfect meal plan, the perfect products, the perfect everything, and if somebody, I say you're not ready when your calendar is right. You're ready when your mindset is right. Oh, wait till this holiday is or this birthday or no, it's not when your calendar is ready. It's when
Oh,
your
that's a good
mindset is
one.
right.
Yeah.
And so mindset is number one. It's a number one pillar. And then you have nutrition. And nutrition is a huge pillar. It's what we put in our mouth, but also what we aren't putting in our mouth. So it's
Mhm.
both. And hydration and all of those things. It's just the nutrition, what we're feeding our body or what we're not feeding our body. Peptides, supplements, everything all falls into what am I putting in my mouth? What am I not putting in my mouth? And then sleep is a huge pillar. I think you probably talked with my husband a little bit about
A
sleep
little bit, yeah.
and how everything stems from, our body actually getting restored because we demand a lot of our we have a lot of demands for our body, and then exercise, right? There's the four pillars that are important for everyone. And yes, I've stepped away from the exercise side of things, and now it's mostly mindset and nutrition. So I developed everyone always asks me if it's Weight Watchers. It is not Weight Watchers,
Oh,
but developed a point system that, and this is a little more than a decade ago because we were creating so many meal plans for people. People need structure and they need to know what to do and when to do it and how much. It's a completely different than just I'm eating healthy, which
yeah.
is a good, if you're going to go
Start.
nutrition 101, let's just put healthy food in your mouth, right?
Yeah.
but there's nutrition 201 and there's nutrition 301. And then, it's like classes in college, they get harder and harder. And nutrition 401 is, well, what macronutrients, protein, fat, and carbohydrates do I need at what times in what amounts? And there are, as you're getting, as you're learning more, everybody hits a threshold where all of a sudden they're not losing weight. And they're like, I have weight to lose. How come it's not coming off?
Yeah.
I'm eating healthy. And so we created a point system that does not have people counting calories. Most everything out there is either a nutritionist is doing your macros or you're counting your calories, which is, it's very, number one, you don't want to rely on somebody else. So if you're having somebody else write your program all the time, you're not truly learning it, right? If you have to check in with a coach and they're writing a new plan, you're not truly learning it. And it's it's expensive. Okay. And then if you're counting your own macros or counting your calories, it also is so tedious that it's that all or nothing thing where you're like, I'm doing it or I'm not. And so the point system is a way for people to learn a portion that's appropriate for their maintenance. It's appropriate for their weight loss or weight gain if somebody wants to gain weight. And it also shows them when they're malnourished, like, oh, you're not having enough food. You're not doing enough. And then fitting in their nutritional support, which is peptides, supplements, things like that. And so we developed that a little over a decade ago. And I like to dive more into the mindset behind how come someone can be a millionaire but have horrible health. Like they got one area of their life taken care of and the other area of their life is just an absolute mess. Or they're in great shape. They're a personal trainer in a gym and they live in this little tiny apartment and make no money because they can't figure out the financial piece of life. And so getting people to feel and look good physically and have the financial ability to enjoy life and give back. And it's just like, that is what fills me up. So I spend most of my time helping people balance out those two things so that they can live the biggest life.
That's so awesome. So if somebody wanted for you to help them with that, how do they find all that information or find you, I guess?
These days, social media is our business card, right?
Okay.
So Jennifer DeTracy on Instagram, Jennifer DeTracy on Facebook. I'm not a TikTok girl. I just, there's so many platforms that we can get on, the Snapchat, the TikTok. I think I have an account on some of those, but I don't look at them. I'm just like, my social media manager's like, you need those accounts. I'm like, okay, but I'm never going to go on there. So
I still haven't even mastered Instagram, so good for you. Like, I'm a Facebook girl, and
I'm still trying to get it,
I know.
but I would say, for the most part, I started on Facebook like all of us old people.
Exactly. You tell your age when you say, like, "What's your social media?" and somebody says Instagram, you're like, they're probably below 40, and then it's like the
Yeah, a
45 and
couple
up.
years ago, I said, all right, I'll tap in there. But I wish I would have done it sooner when the algorithms were better for people to find you. But it's a great place. So anybody can reach anybody through social media and, so Instagram or Facebook is the best place to find me.
Awesome. And we'll have all that information too at the bottom so people can have it underneath the podcast so they can come and look you up and kind of see if they want to pick your brain more, which I would love to have you back and pick your brain more too, for sure. I probably would think we touched on a lot of stuff. I did want to ask about the company itself because you've been involved with so many different companies. It's like it's just a different world. Like, for me, it's kind of been I've been in the same business for 30 years. Things have evolved and changed, and I'm one that likes change. I like to have change, and I don't like to be stagnant. I feel like if you're not learning and you're not growing, you're dying. I say that to people, and they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, but it's true. If we're not learning and we're
So
not
true.
building and we're not staying healthy and doing things to better ourselves, life's going to go on without us, and we're just going to be stuck. So I'm all into those kind of things. I love all the things that you're talking about, and I think we're like two kindred spirits for sure on that way. You're just much better at it than me, much smarter at it than me.
Not true.
But for the business part of it, like a lot of people don't know, so we don't know what we don't know about that. And you've been involved in a bunch. So based on the companies, this was my first, like I keep saying it's affiliate. That's all I really know, right? I'm
Affiliate marketing.
offering
Okay. Yeah.
people, yeah, like I'm just like, I love this product. I see the benefit. I either can give it to you from a pharmacy peptide or I can give it to you from this company that offers natural peptides. Either way, I'm offering you something. Just like if I'm gonna offer you a toothbrush or I'm gonna offer you this, my opinion. It's just my opinion. Everybody's got one. These are my opinions. Um, but whenever I started listening to people from like Justin Prince, so he's the founder and all the things. And when I was listening to him and some of the things he said, I was like fuzzy inside. Like I just had this warm feeling. I was like, wow, this company leads with love. They help each other. It's not any kind of cutthroat thing. It's not like it's, even in dentistry it can get that way. It's, you people can talk smack about the other person and all this kind of stuff. That's just not fun to be around. Probably my age, I'm just over it. All that kind of stuff. But in Cancun, whenever they were having the people were up at the top, and that one doctor started talking. They were just doing a exercise, just a, mental exercise, and, on positivity, I think, and, like, what we think about, like you talked about, it's like, what you think about, you bring about. We've always said that to our kids too, "Don't say the word can't," all these things. Well, and that one guy got up and started talking, and he was talking about the Holy Spirit. I mean, it dropped in the room. I mean, we're all crying. We're all just like and crying just happy tears. It was just like you knew that this was a good place to be. And I was just felt so blessed to be involved and in the realm with so many people that are on the same page. It's on just like it's in the right direction of where this world needs to go in a good place, you know, being good to people. There's so much negativity and there's just so many people that are just angry out there. And you would know being somebody who works on people's minds. And I get to see it a lot too. Uh, I don't know I don't know if I'm just old and that's when it came about, if it's a COVID thing, I don't know. But I feel like the more we can just push out love, lead with love, teach people to just lead with be happy and healthy and be well. It's kind of just it's the root and the factor. So you may give us a little bit about what you know about the company and what your thoughts about it. I mean, I'm sure I'm right, not because I'm right, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I got it wrong. I
You're
don't
like,
think I
I
was
think I'm
seeing
right because
things.
I'm right.
I don't drink anymore, so I don't think I was drunk. Like, I know I wasn't drunk. Um, so it's like, just give me a little tidbit because what I see from my end, you've seen, and you and your husband Nate have been in it a lot longer and know the people, and so just a little
Yeah.
extra, a little happy
Yeah.
about making
Oh
all
my
this
gosh,
happen.
I could go so many different ways with this. You know, how I'll start is no matter what company that we're talking about, leadership stems from the top.
Mm,
When you have good people with good character, with good integrity, and they are who they are behind the closed door,
mm,
just as much as who they are out in front of an audience,
yeah,
then you know you have something real. You know, most companies don't have a desire to, if you had a manager or a boss, their goal in like you said, some things can get cutthroat. What if your goal was to lift someone up, inspire someone, not impress them? Impressing someone's completely different than inspiring.
yeah.
If your goal was to empower others and you cheered them on, even if they did better than you, that's not typical corporate
A
America.
typical,
And so
yeah.
when people have misconceptions about network marketing, I'm like, there's nowhere else in that I've ever seen in business that I take someone, a brand new team member, okay, and I pick them up on my shoulders and I say, you know what? I've been down this road further than you have. So I'm gonna pick you up on my shoulders. I'm gonna teach you everything I know. See, if I was their manager and they were at risk of taking my job, am I gonna teach them everything I know and make them better than me? Probably not. Because there's that little thing inside of me that says, I don't want them taking my job, right?
True, true,
But
yeah.
but it's different. In network marketing, it's hey, let me pick you up on my shoulders and let me teach you everything I know. And you have the ability to, I call it a mountain range. You have ability to make your business a little tiny mountain if you want, because you're in business for yourself and you're the one that's calling the shots, but you're not by yourself. That's the beautiful thing. If I go open a coffee stand on the side of the road, I'm all by myself. I got to buy the coffee. I got to buy the beans. Got to buy the cups. I got to
Yeah,
pay the employees. I got to show up at 6 a.m. if the employee doesn't show up, right?
you're seeing the
But
toilet, you're doing all the things. Yeah, exactly.
oh yeah, and I'm sure as a dentist, you have to do all the
You're on
things.
an island.
And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and what I love about what we have is that we we seek you seek a community and a culture. And this is the thing. Not every network marketing company has a great culture. Not every corporate America company has a great culture. And so when you're seeking a great culture, you want to look for leadership from the top. And when you talk about Justin Prince, and you talk about Truman Hunt, and you talk about Justin Sarah, and you talk about Robert Finnegan, and I know I'm forgetting some names, but a lot of our corporate staff and how it was structured, they have so much wisdom. This is not their, even though our company is only a year old, this is not their first rodeo. And so people ask, how in the world did you guys do $100 million in 11 months and never actually be a startup? See, a startup is when you're not actually making a profit. We actually were never a startup. So we started and then we were never a startup because we were making money. We did $6 million in our first 3 days, right? And so we never actually got to be a startup. And so, but we never ran out of product. Most startups, if they shot out the gate as fast as we did with peptides, they would have run out of product. But because it wasn't our first rodeo, we were like, okay. And we never ran out of product. You know, I mean, were there some bumps in the road of like trying to figure out how to change shipping partners and keep up with growth? But they handled it like the experts that they are. And even this is where I'm going with this, is even when there were issues of the fast growth, because any company that has fast growth is going to have to get through the speed bumps, right? It's inevitable. Yeah. How they handled situations was always not just solution oriented, but what's best for the people. What's best for the what's best for the field, the people out there working hard. How can we not just fix this, but how can we do it in the way that's going to serve people the best? That is the whole mentality behind the top leadership here, is community culture, love, like you're talking about. And there's a lot of companies out there that don't lead that way. And I've been part of some of them, right? There's a lot of companies that don't lead that way. And so to see that firsthand, to be, my husband and I are in the field, but we work hand in hand with the corporate staff. Every Monday morning, we have an advisory council meeting where we get to talk about what's going right, what can we change, what can we make better, and they actually listen. It's not just lip service. And so, some of these things I'm sharing with you, kind of like the insider.
Yes, we get the inside scoop. I like it.
Yeah, you're getting the inside scoop, but we're a baby. And so, you asked me a question earlier. Like, you asked me why, not only why this industry, but why this industry and this company. Right? I don't know if we were on camera or off camera when you asked me that.
I don't remember. It's fine.
Okay. So I'm going to answer that because, why this industry, I think you're hearing how much passion I have for what we do and how the ordinary person can, if somebody is looking for a path in their life, you can walk into church and you can get inspired, but they're not going to give you the path. They're going to say, now go, you can do anything you set your mind to, but you got to go find the path. Our path is not for everyone. You said that at the beginning.
Yeah.
But we have an incredible path for the right people. Right? For the right people. And so what I feel like right now, because I believe in our company and the people that run it are the best of the best, not their first rodeo, brand new company. If you want to be at the right place at the right time with a company, you're like, oh, if I was just with Microsoft or Boeing or, I got the stock at the right time. This is the right time with this company, okay? And I call it a timing collision. If you want to have huge success, you have to have a timing collision. Well, it has to be also industry. You can have a great company with great people selling the wrong thing. Well, now the timing isn't matching, right?
Okay.
Peptides right now, the world is learning the story of therapeutic and bioactive peptides. What are they? What's the difference? How do they benefit me? The world is learning what that means right now. And so the best company that is leading the charge and showing that, the actual industry timing, and then the third piece of the collision is your timing, right? It has to be, someone has to make a decision, not that they're just going to ride. You can't just ride the wave.
Mhm.
You have to actively like stand up on the board, right? You gotta like the intentional like I want to change my life and I want to change other people's lives. You don't just it's not just a get lucky. It's a
Yeah.
I'm getting into action kind of feeling. And I believe that collision of timing when somebody gets like it's going to create some very very significant income for people in the next 10 years.
Yeah, it's
The
pretty.
next year, but I mean like looking out the next decade.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see that too. It's looking back, I guess before you never really realize it that, what's coming if you're not looking next, if you're just in the grind, like for us as dentists, it's like you're just like always in a mouth, you're always in a grind. And there's not a whole lot in dentistry. Like there's things that you can do in dentistry and we don't, you learn sleep and you learn and things come out thankfully, just like in medicine where, oh, this is something new. We have to go back, learn it, and then come back and, give it to our patients. So this field is a whole different field for me, but I totally see this like is, Steve Jobs, this is Tesla, this is like so at the very beginning of something. So it's so interesting and so cool. I think that's why I like to talk about it more because I just want to know more information on it because it is new to me. So I'm hoping that other people feel the same way. But peptides is the same way right now too. It's some people that I talk to like, "Ugh, peptides has been around forever. A lot of trainers, and a lot of gym owners. Oh, we've been doing that forever. I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, if you have, that's great. But there's a lot of people like us who are pretty educated people that know nothing about it. So I feel like if we can get out there and teach it, the right way and educate people, that's the really the bottom line. Like everything, like you said, is education. And if people want it, they want it. And if they don't, they'll eventually know about it. So hopefully we can
Yeah.
get the word out,
Yeah. And nutrition evolves. And that's what I think is a hard thing for
Right.
some personal trainers and doctors. Sometimes we don't just a little just
Just
enough where we think we know everything, but then science happens and something changes and we're like, but that's not what I learned, right?
right.
But science evolves.
Right. It's
What
like
was
that
it?
pyramid. Remember we learned about the pyramid? That pyramid's awful. Like, who's supposed the
Yeah,
food
the
pyramid?
food pyramid. Yeah, and now we've got the plate, and it's like they had this much fat at the top
Yeah,
of the first food pyramid. Like you should have this much fat and this much
yeah,
bread.
the bread,
Right? Like,
all this
this is
bread,
how much bread you should have, and
so
and we
crazy.
all we all believed it, and
You only know what you know.
so I do want to touch on because the people who say, well, peptides have been around forever. You know what? You're right. They have.
Yeah,
They've been in nature since the beginning of time. God put them there.
yeah.
God's laboratory is the
That's the
best
best
one
laboratory,
I've
yeah.
ever seen, right? And so, yes, they have been there. The problem is that most of the peptides in nature, they do really good things, right? They're amino acids. They get in our body. We have essential and non-essential aminos, and they create peptide strains, but they don't get into the bloodstream. And so they can be collagen peptides. You've heard of that. People are
I've
like, I
heard
put
that one,
collagen
yeah,
peptides in my coffee.
yeah.
They can do all sorts of great things, but they don't become a messenger molecule for the cells at an elevated level and change how our body, how our gut is working, how our brain communicates with our gut, how our brain communicates with our muscle cells and our fat cells. All of that requires that peptide stays intact into the bloodstream. It wasn't until AI and hundreds of millions of dollars from some of these companies going through different scenarios of peptides, millions and millions and millions of different scenarios of peptides that we've started discovering in the last 5 to 10 years. Wow, oh, wait a minute. Some of these babies actually get through intact into the bloodstream. So when we're talking about what we do at Make Wellness, we're dealing with bioactive peptides. We're dealing with the ones that actually stay intact through the gut into, and that's probably one of the biggest questions that we have,
Such a pre
which is why I wanted to talk through that. It's not rocket science, but it is evolving and it is new, and that's where we're just at the beginning of discovering. Like there's millions, if not billions, of more scenarios. How many more are out there that we haven't discovered yet
Mhm.
in nature? And they partner, and that's why synthetics or therapeutic peptides started to be made in laboratories because we couldn't find them in nature. But now we're starting to find them in nature. And so we can come alongside. This is not like a do this or do that, right? It's hey, we can come alongside some of these therapeutic options that man has made, and we can find also options that are natural as well. And so I hope that kind of breaks it down for the people that are like, peptides have been there forever. You guys aren't doing anything new. Because yes, the science is very new on what is going on.
And so when talking about the gut, because you mentioned that, and I know you do a lot of research and you know a lot about the gut, actually. So if somebody said what they all say, and that's the same thing we're talking about, is, well, this doesn't go through the gut. You're not supposed to take a peptide through the gut. It's not. It's just going to get eaten up. So maybe do like a dummied down version, like really dummied down on how we can explain that these peptides are found and they are able to be taken into the gut and used properly. We don't waste them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, and like I said, not all of them do. There's actually there are few and far between that we're finding that do. One of the ones we found, I guess I'll just talk about one of them, is derived from a fava bean. I didn't even know what I know what a bean is, but I didn't even know what a fava bean was until I was part of it. I was like, oh, okay. Is that something like pinto beans or
Coffee bean?
yeah, like what kind of bean is this? And but it's not. There's a bioactive peptide derived from ginkgo. There's a bioactive peptide derived from a grain of rice. They're like, well, can I just eat rice? No, and that's where it's not the same. I eat rice every day. It's not the same as when you derive out the actual peptide, the bioactive peptide. It also has, I know we wanted a dumbed down version, but one of the reasons that synthetic is so different than bioactive is a synthetic peptide might stay in the body once it's in, it does its job and it hangs around. This is the simplest way. It does its job and then it just says, oh, I like this party. I'm going to stay here. And it doesn't want to leave.
Okay.
And over time, that can cause some side effects that we may not want. Okay. In short periods, monitored by a doctor, done with cycles, microdosing, things like that, totally fine. But over time, remember, it's like I'm staying, and then eventually some of them will go away. A bioactive peptide, specifically, let's just take that one from the fava bean. It's gone in minutes. It goes in, it does a job, and it goes bye-bye. Goes in, it does a job, bye-bye. And so there's zero potential side effects when something doesn't stay and hang around. That's the easiest way that I can. It's called a short half-life versus a long half-life.
Yep.
And so a lot of people also ask about, safety and, potential side effects and things like that. And that's why I lean so heavily to the natural side, the bioactive side.
Yeah, I definitely hear it. And then, like you said, when it stays in, stays around. It's like it. What do you call that when you outworm your welcome? You use up your welcome, whatever that's called. Like it's time for you to
That's
go.
exactly what you call it.
Like family. It's like family sometimes. You're like, all right,
they're welcome.
you need to get out of here. Oh my gosh, so much good stuff. So I'm so glad that you came and you brought like some heart, some experience, all the stuff, the truth and of all the matters. You gave it all to us good, hit us hard with it. I'm sure I'll have lots of questions. So I'm excited to see people's questions and I'm hoping I can get maybe you and Nate back. I talked about having Alan in. That'd be just a wealth of knowledge too, as far as the science. I know. And just kind of educate people. I feel like that's where I am right now with this stuff I'm getting educated. I learned something new from you, lots of different things when I'm, talking to you and Nate and all the people with Make, and then the pharmacies that I talk to for their synthetic peptides. It's all just new stuff. And I think we all just, if we can have an open mind and open ears and just be able to listen for whatever reason, if it's for ourselves, if it's for our family members, it's for our patients, if we're doctors or, nurse practitioners, all the, healthcare professionals. And then like people like you that are already digging deep in, it's a wealth of knowledge that we get to pick your brain sometimes because you've done all that research and you've seen enough people to where you kind of know, like, if you're doing this, you have this personality, you're going to roll this way. So, we all have our blessings from God. Thankfully, we all need it to make the world go round. And we're so happy that you're here and that you were able to shed a little bit of your knowledge, a little bit of what you have in that brain, that beautiful head of yours, with all of my guests. I know they're going to love it. And we just wanted to make sure everybody knows, the conversation is, it's not an end all be all. It's not the end of the conversation. It is evolving. And people deserve better. People deserve better health, they, better answers and better options. And we just want to be able to give it to them. We want to be able to educate them, empower them, and just lead with love. And I feel like that's what you do best. So I appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming.
Well, thank you for having me anytime.
Oh,
I
watch
enjoyed
what
it
you say.
thoroughly. Thank you.
All right. Well, have a
I
good
know,
one.
be careful.
I know. If I can fit, you can fit me in your schedule. I'm sure you're very busy, but we will definitely have you back. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.